Welcome, Rangers fans. Welcome back. We've had a week off, and now we're resuming our coaches show as we do in the middle of each week, where we kind of recap what's gone on, and we've got a couple of weeks to tell you what's gone on, and then of course look into the week ahead. And we'll start with our third district football game last Friday night. We were over at D.W. Rutledge Stadium taking on the Wagner Thunderbirds. We took a 2-0 record into that game, and we talked a little bit a few weeks ago about the uniqueness of the style of play that Wagner has, both offensively and defensively, and that combined with their talent and their coaches, what kind of challenge that presented, is particularly coming out of the open week when we hadn't played in 2 weeks. But that being said, we strung together a really fine performance, maybe our best performance of the year, and came away with a 41-7 win over Wagner to move us to 3-0 in district and keep us on track to some of the goals that we're trying to get to. And Coach Westford, we'll start with him as our defensive coordinator. To hold their offense down like that, we've had great difficulty with them through the years, but I thought our kids on defense really rose to the challenge.
Yes, sir. They're playing option football, so everybody's got a job that they have to do, and they have to tackle their threat. And I was really pleased with our kids' fits. I thought they played fast. Again, leads to they paid attention during the open week and then during the week throughout practice and meetings and film study. And in practice, we got a great look out of our scout look all week, really, which is a hard offense to simulate in practice because it is a little unusual. But really pleased with our kids' efforts and just the way they played and fit and how they performed throughout the week.
No doubt, they have had both the ability to be ball control and just grind out minute after minute of time of possession, and or get explosive plays on the big run, or to throw it behind you when you play the run. So got some takeaways too. Turnover margin was big.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we were able to get 3 takeaways, which we've been struggling a little bit, quite honestly, on getting a game where we could get multiple takeaways in the game. And so I was really pleased. Our kids have taken it to heart. We practice it every day, trying to get the ball out of there. And it's good to see it show up on film.
Yeah, no doubt. And on the flip side of that, I think Coach Atkins is here to talk about our offense, but I think we scored touchdowns on six straight possessions over the entire first half and the first drive of the second half.
Yes, sir. A big point of emphasis for us was to get off to a fast start, and we did that. It was a really successful night, just a balanced attack, and it was a good night. The O-line did a great job protecting. It was 78% completion percentage, and allowed us to really run the football as well. So just a really good night. Felt like things were clicking on all cylinders, and it's always good to have that, for sure.
No doubt. I think we threw for about 215, 16 yards, rushed for just under 200 yards. So, good balance there, took care of the ball. Explosive plays, I think we had about 12.
Yes, sir, we did. We had 12, and they came at different times throughout the night. I think of our 2-minute drill there right before the half. We had a big explosive to Brody Wick there on the double move, and we had a steady diet of just really good plays and then explosives that came in timely manners.
No doubt. We emphasize getting off to a big start because they can and have through the years just monopolize time of possession and just don't give you many opportunities. But our defense played well, got us off the field quickly, and the offense was very efficient and go down and score. So moves us to 3-0 in district play. Obviously, there's still 4 more district games to go. Nothing's been done yet, but we're as good as you can be after 3 games at least. So coming up next, of course, we've got the Seguin Matadors, a different kind of challenge, a different kind of game than what we just had. Different but challenging in a different way, and we'll talk about that when we come back. But we're going to take a break, send it over to Coach Miller and Dr. Schneider, our principal, and they're going to talk about what's happened, and it will happen throughout the rest of the campus here at Smithson Valley. So take it away, ladies.
Thanks, Coach. Congrats to you guys on the huge win last week. Speaking of big wins, let's talk about the rest of our programs. Kind of a little dull point right now before basketball gets going. Golf is ramping up, but we want to close out tennis. Tennis finished their season last week with a huge win over Vets Memorial. They knew kind of going into it was their last match of the season, didn't qualify for playoffs in a super tough district, but kind of put everything into that match and ended up winning 14-2. So a great way to end their season for varsity. JV still has some stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks, but we want to give a shout out to Coach Lawan, Coach Albright, all of our varsity tennis players for a very tough and very competitive season in a very tough tennis district. So congrats to you guys on a great fall season. We'll see you again in the spring. Cross country. So we know they had district last week. I know you went.
I did.
Well, how was it?
It was very exciting. Our kids did a great job. You're going to go over the results, but it was just really great to see them compete.
So on the girls, no surprise there, but props to them. They were district champs. Boys ended up in 4th place overall, again, in a very tough heat of schools. We want to give a couple of shout outs. Aubrey Posey, district champion as a sophomore, incredible. So fun to watch her run. And what's also impressive is we also had the 2nd place runner in senior Lily Koenig. Those two have kind of flip-flopped all season. So I love that they're pushing each other. And I think that's probably why they're successful, is because they train together. Yeah. Exactly. And then on the boys' side, we want to give a huge congrats to Luke Smith, who qualified for regionals with a 3rd place finish. So very good showing for Coach Hall, Coach Aguilar. Looking forward to following the girls to regionals, and Luke also representing the boys' side. Volleyball, we are winding down 2nd round. So we've got 4 more games, 2 more weeks. Currently, we are 25-12, 8-4 in district, which puts us in 4th place. We had 2 huge wins last week. So proud of the girls. We headed to Alamo Heights, dropped the first set, was able to rebound, win the next 3. And then Friday night, we hosted Bernie High and had a 3-game sweep. Nice. Very exciting. Yeah, really proud of the girls. We're going to talk about some people we want to highlight, and then we'll be back with what's coming up.
Yeah, love those sweeps. Yeah, we want to highlight our student and our teacher of the week. Our student of the week is Lily Rose. On the first day of school, this was nominated by Coach Alberg. Yes. He said, first day of school, she verbally introduced herself, communicated clearly her name while making eye contact, and explained that she would be missing a few days in the next week, and asking how she could obtain materials and assignments while she was gone. It was very bold and confident of her to do that as a freshman with new teachers. She's going to do great things in the near and distant future because she is communicating with adults, peers, and speaking up for herself. So congratulations, Lily. Yes. Our teacher of the week, Chef Morgan Warren. She was nominated by Mrs. Rudloff. And she says, I would like to nominate Chef Morgan Warren for Teacher of the Week. Besides hosting the first delicious luncheon, she recently hosted Kids National Food Fair tasting competition in the Blue Star Cafe. This was a spectacular event. Yeah, I got to go try all the food. Through this event, she provided students with valuable real-world experience that connected their learning to professional culinary opportunities. Chef Warren's dedication, creativity, and passion for her students make her an outstanding choice for Teacher of the Week. And it was really excellent because the kids had to study their country, and so they had to basically give some cultural aspects of the country, but then they also had to prepare a culinary dish from that country. So it was really a neat event. Yeah. We also want to highlight a program this week. Our band competed in the Colmel Classic last week. They won every caption. I'm not actually sure what that means, but I think it's all their individual groups. Yes, but they did, and they took the 5A. They were first in all the 5A groups, schools, and they took 2nd overall. And they are starting this Saturday. They will be at their regional competition at 9:00 at Hero Stadium. So we are very excited to see their this is like their playoffs. Yeah. So we're very excited to see their competition season go full swing with the marching band. So congrats to that program as well.
Congrats to everybody this week. Those band kids, man, they work. Yes. Football season's a whole nother season. Then as they're winding down, they're starting their competition. Props to all of our band directors and kids that participate and parents that help. I mean, that's a whole thing. So congrats, band. Let's talk about what's coming up this week. As we said, we're kind of in a weird week. Basketball gets started next week, and then the winter sports really pick up. This week, really the only thing happening other than football is volleyball. We are traveling to Piper tonight. Freshmen and JV will play at 5:15. Varsity will follow at 6:30. And then Friday, we have a big match. We are hosting New Braunfels Unicorns, currently undefeated, #1 in our district. So we look forward to bringing them into our gym and seeing what we can do there. Varsity will play at 7 o'clock on Friday night. So if you don't feel like driving to Seguin, you can head on up here, watch us take on the Unicorns. And then next Monday in Corpus, our cross-country team will compete at the regional championships. So I know they're traveling up Sunday. They've got an early start time Monday. So next week we will have those results for you. Again, looking forward to watching those kids compete at the regional level and hopefully qualify for the state level. Yeah. So a couple things to check out this week, and good luck to you guys, Coach. We'll go ahead and head back to y'all.
Thank you, ladies, and congratulations to all our athletes, students, and all around Smithson Valley for all the good things that are going on. And let's go back to football now and talk about what we hope will be a good thing going on here. We're entering Game 4 of the district race. This week we go over to Seguin at Matador Stadium to take on the Seguin Matadors. A different type of challenge, as I mentioned earlier. Wagner, very run-oriented option style of offense. Seguin's quite the other way. You know, they've got a 4-year starter at quarterback and can really fling it around, and they do. He's a big part of what they do, both throwing the ball and running the ball, and then extending plays and keeping plays going and not making a hard time holding coverage that long. So, Coach Westford, we're going to go from playing football in a phone booth, just a bunch of bodies everywhere, to being spread out all over the field, and they're throwing it around.
Yes, sir. A very dangerous attack that Seguin has. You can tell they're very well coached. They spread the field, try to get you all spread out. Like you mentioned, the quarterback, he's a big, tall kid, 6'7". It won't take long to find him. Very mobile, though. He's not just a stand-in-the-pocket guy. He does a great job of extending plays. Sometimes plays last 10, 15 seconds, which is a long time to hold coverage. So it'll be a tremendous challenge for our secondary to cover and our D-line to not allow him to do that. Try and keep him contained and keep him from extending plays. But it's a dangerous kid that can pull it down and run it too. And he's not the only guy they got. They got a couple of really good running backs. They are fairly balanced. And then they got some explosive receivers that have been scoring from a long way out. So it'll be a tremendous challenge for our defense.
No doubt. I mean, they've scored a bunch of points. They've been in some high-scoring shootouts this year with most of their opponents. And you say, well, let's just pin our ears back and rush the passer. You got to be careful there. You get start creating levels. The defensive end's up here, the tackles are here, and you start giving run lanes or step under and through or break outside lanes, and then the fun really starts.
Yeah, and that's really where he thrives. Let the rush come in a little bit, and he might step up and then roll back out, or he'll beat you outside if you don't keep contained. And when the play gets extended is when they get really dangerous. I mean, he does a good job of throwing on time in the pocket as well, but it's the non-scripted plays, if you will, that really can hurt a team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, so our defense has got, like I said, a different kind of challenge, but a big challenge nonetheless. And then offensively, obviously, again, we've got every week is something different. What kind of defense does this particular opponent bring to the table? And Seguin's defense bases out of a 3-down.
Yes, sir. They're 3-4, and it's been a while since we've seen traditional 3-4. And so it'll be important for our guys to make sure we're all on the same page and how we're going to block that. And they've got a D-line that they're pretty fond of, that's very athletic, and backers that are the same, that they really work well together and they're well coached. And so we'll have to do a good job with that and making sure that we're all on the same page and put together a great week so that we can go out and run the football and be efficient in the passing game and do the things that we know how to do at Smithson Valley.
Well, there's no doubt, and I think, the two sides of the ball have got to play together. Some of our best defense against an offense like them is to keep their offense on the bench, to be able to possess the ball, being efficient in the passing game and running the football and winning the ball control one time of possession battle. But we'll have to be explosive too. We'll have to get big chunk plays. We got 12 of those against Wagner last week. It'd be great to get some of that again. And then the thing that doesn't get talked about a whole lot on other shows, at least, is the kicking game. Can Can we block a punt? Can we get a big return? Can we pin them deep with our punts and kickoffs, give them long fields? Things like that allow you to win big ball games, which this is one of them. And as we're nearing the halfway point of the district race, the standings are beginning to take shape a little bit. Us and New Braunfels both are 3-0, and we got a couple more that have one loss and several that are with two losses, and everybody's still in it, so to speak. But as we talk about, just try to win this game this week, and then 4 teams around the league are going to lose. If you're not one of them, then you've gained ground or made up ground or pulled away a little bit from someone else. So another big game this Friday night, 7 o'clock in Seguin at Matador Stadium. Hope you'll be out there and watching us and supporting us. And thanks for being on today, and we'll see you next time.